and welcome to not only Forged from Iron Extra Time, but in a whole new episode for us. We're also live on the original Forged from Iron YouTube channel. So we're bringing this content of this show to both channels. I tell you, I have the wonders of technology amaze me. I have no idea how we've managed to do it, but it works. So now we can bring content to both channels at the same time. And it's amazing. So those of you on, here we go, Andy, this is where I'm going to slip up. Those of you on the Forged from Iron YouTube channel that are not subscribed to the Forged from Iron Extra Time channel, please jump over, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, so then you get the content from both, because we're going to be uploading different content on both channels. This is just something that obviously where I'm not able to do content for the main channel, we can still bring you content for the main channel by doing this. So please jump over, subscribe, hit the bell icon, like this video on both YouTube channels. Let's get going. Let's get some stuff. We'll talk about him in a minute. Andy, Steve, welcome to both channels. This is exciting.
No, it's not.
I like it. What'd you say?
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
I thought you said it didn't go. I was about to throw something at you.
No,
I was
you
like,
know,
what do you
friends
mean?
throw a brick at me already because I play golf today.
That's because you literally play golf every day, while the rest of us are working hard, Mr. Steve. We're working.
Hang on, I did have 40 years working before I got to retire.
I feel like I've done that already, and I'm only 45.
Luke, I've made a boo-boo already.
I'm
Can
gonna
you
phone-
delete the? Can you delete the comment from the Forged from Iron West Ham United YouTube? I put the wrong link in. I was trying to send the link to the channel, but I've been busy.
How am I meant to delete that?
So you log into YouTube.
Right,
I was-
I've got to go. Oh, you an absolute no.
I can talk. I can talk in a minute.
That's
Fine.
all right. I can do it all. Don't worry. I'm really good. So, God, oh, bloody hell, what happened? No. Oh, my life.
I tell you what, it's a smoothly run machine here, isn't it, guys?
I tell you, we are amazing. Hang on, I've got to... So,
Well, you two are.
the reason we're here,
Yes.
Stephen, you don't even know how to tie your shoelaces via the internet.
Well,
So, yeah.
exactly. It's you two do all the technical stuff.
Exactly, and we've still ballsed it up. So it tells you a lot of what's going on, doesn't it? Anyway, right. I've got to go into dashboard. Right. We are here to discuss Saturday's game, 5:30 kickoff, West Ham away. Are they our bogey side? I think they might be, mightn't they?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, is that what we're going with? Are we going with a pain in the arse bogey side? I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's very difficult for me to, say that now that they've sold their players. They've lost McAllister. They've lost Casiado. And the thing is, I don't know as much as I should, as such, that I don't know what they've got coming in to replace the players that, you know what I mean? So it's a very interesting situation for me. I'm very curious as to what kind of players they've got to step in. Chris, it's nice to see you. I'm not quite sure I've got YouTube over here, and I've just heard myself. Oh, my God, I hate it. Anyway, you wonderful people, get your comments in about what you think we're doing, how we're doing as a club. What is she up to? Right, just a quick shout out to this lovely lady here, Diane. She's a Tottenham fan, God love her. She's one of the customers that comes in my pub. I stitched her right up when I grabbed her phone and subscribed her to both YouTube channels. She didn't have a clue what was going on. And the problem is now she gets all the West Ham news go through to her phone via Google. You know, when you sign up to West Ham stuff, she gets everything going through. I've seen Becca's in the chat. I've seen Kate's in the chat. It's so good to have all you lovely people back.
That's great.
From the main channel. I'm still trying to work out how to delete this thing, Andy. Andy, I know you've got some. I know you've got some stuff over on your shared malarkey. I think I've removed it. There we go.
Thank you.
So give us your tactics board. Show us.
Yeah.
What you got.
Right. So first of all, we mentioned bogey side. This is the last 5 meetings. So the last one, I remember that one very well. But I'm taking more positive notes on the bottom 2 because we drawed. We drew the game.
It's a start, mate, and it's Oh, hang on. Yes, you are en route somewhere. Enjoy. I know where you're going. You don't. So have fun. Carry on.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, as you can see there, obviously the 4-0. Just think, I know it's only 2 games and obviously we won the conference. Look how far we've come from Saturday the 4th of March. That 4-0 defeat.
You know what? That was a hard watch. Andy, you were there for that, weren't you?
I managed to... yeah, I've been very fortunate. To me.
Yeah. That I must admit, that performance was humiliating, wasn't it?
It was.
Like,
you know what? But if you told me before the kickoff for that game that we'd lose this 4-0 but go on to win the conference, I would have said, yeah, go on in, all right.
yeah,
So you've got to weigh up the pros and cons. Listen, we've come a long way, as you say, Andy. I think the last 3 results against them have been just awful. A lot of that, I feel, Andy, would you agree with me, comes down to their recruitment. You know, we say at the minute, the guys in the chat are or have been talking, and the girls, sorry, and I'm not assuming anyone's gender. Let's clear that up. They're all talking in the chat about Mohamed Kudus, and we'll get to him towards the end of the video. We've signed Dinos, whatever we want to call him, Dino out of the Flintstones, who knows? We seem to be going a different way ourselves, and our recruitment is looking up. Would you, Steve? I'll come to you first, actually. Would you agree with that? Would you agree that what we see on the screen there isn't necessarily reflective of where we are now as a club, as a team?
I would. I'd agree with that. We've seemed to have recruited differently. I think the Chelsea performance showed a very resilient, strong West Ham who scored on the break. I think will be a different challenge for Brighton because when we played them and lost 4-0, we were at a bit of a low. And I'm going to say this, we certainly haven't missed Declan Rice. And in some ways, I think we look better without him because we're not playing around him. I actually think we are a different side. I think we're going in a different direction. Tim Steidten on his plane. Once you see a player on the plane with Tim Steidten now, you're pretty sure we're going to sign him. And it does feel different. I'll be very interested to see how we do against Brighton this weekend.
Andy, would you agree then? Like I say, we're in a different place. I think we're a different kettle of fish to what we see on the screen there, like Steve's just said.
Marky boy, if you mean the sportsman, I was there for a quite a significant time on Sunday, if that's where you think you may have saw me on Sunday.
Chance, isn't there? Let's be honest.
I think we have, and don't get me wrong, that night in Prague will live with me for the rest of everyone's life. I think the fact that we won a trophy, but you can see the togetherness now, and I think the uncertainty of one, your captain knowing that he's going, and two, we've just gained more leaders. I think it's only a good thing, and we'll get on to the player I've really highlighted out later on, who I think could be very, very crucial for us for the rest of the season. But yeah, mate, I'm absolutely buzzing.
I just want to touch on a comment from Mandy, as she's put here. If Kudus is playing tonight, how close can he be to signing for us? Well, there was a lot of talk earlier. I was in a chat earlier. I had a general discussion around Kudus. It actually makes him cut tired now for us.
It doesn't.
Does it not?
No, they've changed the rules. X confirmed it earlier. Qualification doesn't count. So
okay. Let me retract that then. Well, okay. Let me put it on a different. Let me put it in a different way then. If we were Ajax, and he was our player, and this is an important qualification, he's our best player. I get that we want to sign him, and I think if we'd actually had the deal done, i.e. terms agreed rather than pretty close, I think if we'd had terms agreed, we could have had a reason and a statement to say, look, can we pull him out of the squad? Can you pull him out of the squad tonight? We don't want him as an injury risk. So, look, we've agreed the fee. We want him pulled out. But because the fee isn't agreed, Rob, I don't think the price will go up. I think we are that close. But I just think if the shoe was on the other foot and it's us, he's playing.
If that was Declan, if he weren't agreed with Arsenal, he would have played tonight.
Yeah, but that's my point. You've got to understand that's going to be the case, isn't it?
For us,
it
looked like he was going to City. Piquet went out, put a shift in.
And a very big shift twice, even, after the allegations and such. I'd like to think, just touching on what you boys have said, I'd like to think we are a completely different prospect. I was talking about Kudus Wolf, yes. I think we are a completely different prospect. I'd like to think, and again, in a chat that I was in earlier, having a conversation with my brother as well. I actually personally, and people downstairs in my pub, couple of West Ham boys, I personally think we are, as a team, a starting 11, maybe not necessarily as a club, we're in a better place without the previous 41, our former captain. I actually think as a starting 11, because we're not trying to build around one man as such, who, for me, his strengths were the holding defender, holding defensive midfielder, which we saw in the 2 seasons prior, or the season and a half, shall I say, prior to us, going into the Conference League and winning it. The year previous to our first year in Europe, the failure, the failed season, if you will, in Europe when we lost to Frankfurt, and you had 41 as the holding midfielder. As I said back then, I thought that he was the best defensive midfielder of his age in the world. And I still think he is, regardless of where he's gone. I still think that as a holding defensive midfielder, he's still the best of his age in the world. Now, that being said, because we're not trying to play around him wanting to be a box-to-box midfielder anymore, which weakened us because of Thomas Souček having to be the holder, which didn't work. Now you're seeing something different. Now you're seeing a different West Ham, if you will. So I think we're in a completely different place and a better place as a starting 11, as a squad, without 41. I do.
Yeah.
So, Andy, do you want to take the question from Mandy before we crack on about losing El Fornicador, as he's been called on other channels?
I reckon a 6. I reckon it's just a little bit more than true. Apparently, Damo Chef said it on the 5 o'clock show that El Nesri is apparently keen on the move now. So I'm guessing, even though he's leaving Champions League football, I don't think they're going to go far in the Champions League with all their players going. So I'll probably rate it a 6.
Can I say, Fornals, if he stays, he's going to be on the bench a lot, and he's too good for that, in my opinion. He needs to go and play football. I love Pablo. I think he's marvellous. He's said before he would like to finish his career at West Ham, but I think in fairness to him, he needs to go and play football because he, in his right position, he's a talented footballer. I just want to see what the best for him.
I think the sad part of it is, Steve, is this is no disrespect to Thomas Souček, because I absolutely love Big Tom when he does what Big Tom does. I'd actually, if it wasn't for the fact that Big Tom was a favourite of Mavid, then you would probably see Fornals in there. But the problem is now you've got Alvarez, however you want to pronounce it. He's come in. He's not going to be happy sitting on the bench. You've got Paqueta there. You can't put Paqueta on the bench. You've got JWP, who we can't drop because of what he brings, set piece wise, corners, free kicks, etc. So then Souček needs to be dropped for Alvarez because, like I say, Alvarez isn't going to be happy coming out of Ajax as a first choice and going into West Ham as second rate. And then, so you're dropping Souček. Souček is a favourite of Moyes, so that puts Fornals directly behind him. I agree with what Gonzo said over on Hammer's chat this morning or yesterday morning. I can't remember exactly what video I was watching. But he did say that, he's probably, if Kudus comes in, he's going to be kind of third in line at left back, left wing after Benrahma and Kudus. He's going to be third choice attacking midfielder if we bring in Lingard, because he's going to be behind Lingard and the first choice of Paqueta. So he's really going to struggle for game time this year. I love Fornals, and I love the Fornals I saw when we first signed him, the guy that was in the under-21s. It would break my heart to see him go, but on the flip side to that, I want what's best for the man. There's there's very few players that come in, and again, Gonzo mentioned it earlier on chat. He's one of the players that's come in and he's now an adopted Cockney. He's an adopted East End boy. Alvin Martin came in as a Scouse. He became one of us, if you will, and Pablo's done the same. So it'd be a shame to see him go, but I want what's best for him. You know what I mean? So that's essentially where I'm at there. Andy, you want to continue with what you had lined up? Sorry, I've kind of just gone.
No, that's all right. Don't be silly. Right, so everyone can see here. Look, 2-4-1 victories here for Brighton. The opening day victory against Luton, I think that will be a score a lot of the time. I wouldn't take much into consideration. But the thing what I can take a benefit from is they look more open at the back than they have ever done, in my opinion. And they're gonna be at home on Saturday, and their fans are going to expect a comfortable win with the record what we've got. And as we've mentioned now we've gone back now to a counter-attacking side like we were against Chelsea. I think that's where we can really, really, really punish them. And to be honest, the Wolves game wasn't a 4-1 game. If Wolves had a striker, that probably would have been 4-4.
Well,
Right.
Wolves played really well against Man United in their first game of the season.
And were robbed.
And I think they were, yeah. I don't know if you boys have seen the memes that have been doing the rounds on social media. You know, what are the three guys that I can't remember? It's a TV show, and there's four middle-aged men. Three of them go behind the camera with headpieces in, and they tell the geezer that he's
Practical jokers.
That's it. And they did the one with Anana, and they're in their room, and they're going, what we want you to do is we want you to come out and just shout cannonball as you jump. And it cuts back to Anana going, no, I don't think I can really do that, guys. And they did that. And it was for me, I don't know how.
Wolf, I would take a 5-4 victory.
Mate, can you imagine? Oh, I'm going to be a mess on Saturday. Sorry. I finish at 2:00. I go to watch my brother's team play after 2 victories that he's had so far this season, and go wind up the opposition like I did last week and nearly get in a fight, and then back to the pub for the West Ham game, and then in the evening I'm DJing a rock and roll night, a 50s, 60s, 70s rock and roll evening. I'm going to be a mess if we do actually win 5-4. I won't lie. Good evening. Good start to the season for you boys as well.
Right.
I mean, right. Just imagine we win that game. And I was in this camp. Oh, we might not have many points after 6 games. That would be 7 after 3 games. That is cracking full.
Buzzing.
And I think you get Kudos and Esri in. I think we'd give anybody a game.
Definitely.
I'm not getting too carried away just yet with the 2 signings. I get that we're in a situation right now where Sunday against Chelsea, we look good. We did look good, but we look poor at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was one of them. So I actually think I'll tell you what, Andy, you've got one. You've got 2 starred messages now because I've just chucked one on. Can you address Wolf's comment here?
Yeah. And
Bedsit Radio. That work. I don't know. Just confirm for them what you believe is the case.
Yeah. So the new rules changed for any European competition. They've changed the rules. Qualifying is different to the group stages. So if he's playing tonight, doesn't mean he'll be cup tied for us in Europe. So yeah.
There you go.
What I'll do is it's good that we're getting more people in the chat. I'll probably have to repeat it every 10 minutes. Just do a staff announcement.
Frank leaving platform 4.
Well, we got 14 people in the chat, guys. If you haven't done so already, please jump over to the 2 channels. As I said earlier, we're live on both Forge from Iron, the first channel, if you will, the original channel that myself and Rob started and take care of. And we're also live on the Forge from Iron Extra Time channel as well. So depending on what one you're watching on, jump over to the other one, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit the bell icon. Andy, continue with your very well put together presentation, sir. I have to say.
Indeed.
Thank you. As you can see here, the 8 goals and obviously the conceded 2. Obviously, you can see that by that. But the one thing is what I've seen here. So big chances created 9. So apart from their goals, really, I know they've had 20 shots on target. They're converting their big chances, and they've hit the woodwork 3 times. So, but I've still got faith. I'm not trying to put their disciplinary record. This is where I reckon the likes of Paqueta, Emerson, the quick Silky. Look, they've already had 8 yellers. If we can start getting them yellers and they go down to 10 men or something, I think we've got a chance there as well. So I'm not trying to put this as a doom and gloom. But the one what gets me is that. Look at that pass accuracy, 90%.
Yeah, it's very good.
Very
That's
good.
outstanding, isn't it?
Yeah, really. When you
I'm
think about it.
also, boys, I'm also at a point that doesn't worry me in the slightest. Like the possession, the pass accuracy, I mean, if you take a look at their shooting accuracy, it ain't great. It ain't great. You know, 43. All right, they've had a combined total of 43 shots over 2 games, but they've not even hit the target on half of them.
Yeah.
And again, they've scored 8 goals. So they've not even scored half of what they've got on target. Do you see what I mean? So I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm
I'm
not
the same.
overly concerned. I mean, their tackle success rate, 71%. Like you said, Andy, they've got 8 yellers in 2 games. That's 4. That's an average of 4 a game, which again isn't. It's. I'm of a belief that we are a little bit more sure at the back than what we have been.
Yeah.
So I'm not overly concerned. I mean, that's what I saw on Sunday. Brighton don't have a Raheem Sterling, let's be honest, and Raheem Sterling cost us all kinds of bullshit on Sunday. They don't have that. So as far as I'm concerned, we shouldn't be facing that kind of one person just ripping through us. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. It's as far as that. Yeah. So Andy, continue.
So I've picked 2 men, not that they're danger men, but I think key to Brighton and could be key for us. And this man here is Solly March. I've been a huge fan of his since he's played for Brighton. He can play both sides, and obviously he's had 2 appearances and scored 3 goals for them. I think we've got a huge advantage of Emerson playing because he normally rips Creswell a new one whenever he plays on the right, and the fact that we've got Emerson there, I feel a lot confident. But Steve, what about do you like Solly March? Do you reckon he could
I do. I think he's a cracking player. You contain him. It takes quite a lot of their attacking prowess out of the game. But one thing I was going to say is they've put 4 goals past Wolves and 4 goals past Luton. They haven't come up against our defence yet, which I think is markedly better than the 2 defences they've played against so far.
Dare you slag off Mr. Dawson?
With the exception of Craig Dawson, who is clearly a world-class defender in all situations for any team. No, I mean, Big Dawes is great, as we know, and I'd have him back at our club in a heartbeat. But I think our defences are better than Wolves, and certainly, markedly better than Luton's. So I think it's going to be a completely different proposition for Brighton. And if Emerson can hold Solly March, which you can never tell with Emerson. Sometimes he's brilliant. Sometimes you wonder what on earth you're doing. And he got absolutely destroyed by Sterling in that first half. But if he does, I think they will struggle a lot more. Our defence will be a lot more resilient in general anyway.
Luke, do you want to add anything, mate?
No, I agree with both of you. I mean, listen, I think Solly March is a cracking player. I have admired him. You know, when we've come up against him, it hurts. He is a good player. But again, you kind of take a look at the overall layup and setup at Brighton. The fact that he's still there, chaps, doing bits when their recruitment is as good as their recruitment is, and that man is still starting week in, week out, hasn't been replaced. It just shows you how good he is for that side. You know, his longevity and everything else. It just goes to show just how good a recruitment it was when they first brought him on board.
Definitely. Next player for Brighton is their goalkeeper, Jason Steele. He made his debut against us in that 4-0 defeat. Obviously, that as you can see there, he's made 18 appearances, 6 clean sheets, and he's got 1 assist as well for a goalkeeper. That's not bad. But look at that there. This season, he's only made 6 saves. Like, I know we're away from home. I would expect us to have at least 6 shots at him.
Yeah.
And I feel, obviously, it proved last week, set pieces, Brighton are not the tallest. So I think he could be targeted big time.
Yeah.
I really do.
I mean, that's going to be our strength in these games now, isn't it? Set pieces. I mean, we've got big players. We've got a guy who can put world-class dead balls in on a sixpence. I think they may struggle in that area, and it'll be interesting to see how their keeper handles some of Ward-Prowse's deliveries, which are going to be outstanding. You know, be very interesting. Yeah, I agree, Andy.
Would you put him under pressure in the first few moments, if you will, the first opportunity you get to dump the ball into the box from a free kick, from a corner? Would you put him under the pressure of dumping a ball on top of his head as such in a crowded box and see how confident he is coming out and claiming?
But what I would do is do someone like Bowen to do it. When Antonio does it, he normally gets a free kick against him. So I'd have Bowen. Just think, this is what I wanted to say on Monday. Normally Bowen's taking corners. Now we've got a striker's instinct player in the box as well now. I remember the goal he scored against Brentford when he smashed it after a corner, a rebound. He smashed it in, not last season, the season before. So we've got another striker's instinct in there, and I'd put him on there. I'd have Antonio on the back or front post with a flick on, and put Bowen there on the goalkeepers.
On his toes,
Yeah, you think straight though you put him under pressure. It may not be entirely relevant because Ward-Prowse can put in a ball that's unplayable. That second corner against Chelsea for the Chelsea defence was unplayable. So it just took everybody out of the equation.
Yeah,
and I think we're looking at a completely different standard of delivery. We're not looking to. He's not trying to put in balls that are going to cause people difficulty. He's trying to put in balls that the defence is finding impossible to play against. And I think that's what we should be looking to do.
Yeah, no, definitely. Next one is our danger man, and I'm going to give him a big shout out because I was very surprised at Bournemouth away for him to get the captain's armband. And I don't know about you, gents, he's just took it on ease. I think he's been outstanding since he has. He's been. I didn't really see him as a leader, if I'm being perfectly honest. I know a defender needs to be vocal, but I think this has gave him a new lease of life. Obviously, we won't mention the thingy because it bores everyone to death. But I'm buzzing for this.
I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna bring it up, and I'm gonna make one comment on it. Right. The same people that are booing this man for kicking the cat, and I'm talking opposition fans, the same opposition fans that are, well, let me rephrase that. I'm going to bollocks, I'll go all in. Manchester United fans absolutely slating Kurt Zuma for kicking a cat are the same people that are up in arms that Manchester United have decided to let Mason Greenwood go. It's not been proven he did anything. I'd like to point out the charge, he was still charged, but the case against him was dropped. He was charged with what he did, but the case was dropped because, as I understand it, the young lady withdrew her statement because she was pregnant and didn't want to go any further with it. The same people that are saying that even though he's done what he did and he should be allowed to go back and play for Man United are saying that Kurt Zouma shouldn't go back and play for West Ham, let alone be captain, because, he kicked a cat. I'm sorry. There needs to be someone needs to get their head out of the sand and give it a wobble. All my life. So he's got a hat trick.
Yeah.
And the guy that set it up was the guy that slipped through our fingers.
But if you had to pick Kudus or Borges, who are you picking?
Kudus.
Oh, I'm going with Kudus because of his experience. He's got game time experience at a high level that Borges hasn't. But
they're still both talents, yeah.
If we'd got Borges, we wouldn't have known about Kudus. So, as a fan base, we wouldn't have been told about it. You know what I mean? So it's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. On the Kurt Zouma thing, I think you've got to be very careful when you make comments about what other people do, because would you like that same level of judgment looked at your life? Do you want your life put under a microscope? No, thanks.
I think the sad part of it is, Steve, is we all are in this day and age. With so not necessarily you because you don't use it, and you said that yourself. Social media and everything you put out there leaves you open to any kind of comeback, retort, anything. It doesn't matter. There's. I'll be honest with you. There's a picture of me on my Facebook. Here's one for you to go search, boys and girls. If you follow me on Facebook for charity, it was. In fact, I'll tell you when it was. It was the day we buried my uncle, my dad's brother. He passed away from cancer. The day we buried him. I mean, around that time there was the the charity picture trend doing the rounds. So a bit like the the ice bucket challenge that did the rounds well, there was one going around for cancer, and it was cock in a sock, and it was basically gentlemen being nominated to put their penis in a sock, and people would donate to charity if you did it. That you know what I mean? So like the ice bucket challenge. There's a picture of me on my Facebook with my wang in a football sock. I chose a football sock because it made it look more impressive. But it's there. Now, I don't shy away from
Can I just do a disclaimer? Both of these channels are not suitable for kids. Before I put anything out there. Before.
But my point is, it's there. Now, I don't regret doing that, but there could be a time, sometime down the line, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, where that's used against me, maybe in a job interview. Do you see what I mean? So it's that whatever happens in this day and age of social media, and no, that's my point, Marky boy. Exactly. The charges weren't dropped. The case was dropped. Double check that. But that's it. Like I say, it's out there. That picture's out there. I'm not going to do anything to change that, and I probably wouldn't, because it's done for a good reason. I now wear, just to answer Sharky's question, bundles of them. I 3 or 4 pairs just in the front of the boxes nowadays, just to make it look. It's cold. Anyway. But that's my point, Steve.
Do you know what? We've actually got the on both channels. It's going up. So don't keep talking about your cock in a sock, and we might get
Go looking. Listen, like I say, it was for a good cause. I don't regret it. But as you were saying, Steve, unfortunately, you're going to be in the public eye when you put anything on social media. We do this. We leave ourselves open to the comments that we get. Andy, from your former channel, that the comments you get are not always pleasant. They're not always, you know, they're not always, shall we say, endearing, polite. You get some really nasty people out there, and 9 times out of 10, it's just a personal attack, and they don't even know you because they don't like your opinion on something. Well, you know, unfortunately, when you put yourself out there like we do, and even Steve, like I say, you don't use social media, but you know, you don't use your picture on screen, but there will be people out there that might take offence to something you say.
Oh,
And,
absolutely.
you know, and unfortunately, you know, these things. I mean, do I think the young lady? I think it was Mason Greenwood's fiance, as she is now. Do I think she was right in what she did? No, I don't. You know, if you had that level of evidence, you should have gone straight to the police. My opinion doesn't matter. As it is,
Anyway, this is the last time Kurt Zuma's going to get used as a key man for West Ham for the whole rest of the season.
Oh, listen, I
No,
think,
but
No,
going
with his,
going back to football, Zuma's
Yeah.
been brilliant.
Yeah,
Zuma has
he's
been
fantastic.
outstanding for us.
2 games, and I think he's been an absolute. Him and Agerd, and yes, okay, Agerd got sent off. The first booking at the weekend, I get it, fully behind it. Took one for the team. Second one, silly. You know, now we're going to find out. And I think when Bonner came on, he was immense. Again, another solid brick wall. I think what you're looking at now is with Mavropanos coming in, Aldinos, is we've got strength and depth in that back 4 situation.
Yeah.
but the thing is, as well, is Dinos can play right back as well. Can you imagine him as a right back as well? No one's getting past him either. He's massive as well.
6'5" monster.
From what I understand, he's prone to a mistake, but that's why he's playing at West Ham, to be blunt. You know, and he's not playing at Man City. I think he's still going to add an awful lot to the side. Chilo Kera's been linked with Bayern today, hasn't he? Which I think would be a shame. Because I really rate Kera.
He won't go either. Anyway, next player, surprise, surprise, is my main man, James Ward-Prowse. I'm not going to sit here and talk about, because we've done that on Monday, obviously the 2 assists there. I just think the fact that we've got him in this side now, the reason why I've got this up is team play, is the passes, the passes as well. He's going to be so key on Saturday. And do you know what? I cannot wait for that first free kick on the edge of the box. It's going to be like having a penalty. Do you think?
It's going to be like having a certain Frenchman back.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. You're going to feel like Payet's over the ball, aren't you? But
it's going to be enjoyable to get. I mean, I'm not being funny. It was we've had Cresswell, good free kick taker. I remember a game, I think it was against Burnley at home. That couldn't have been Burnley.
Man U.
No. I was at a game with Grace, and I called Cresswell putting in
Everton.
It was. I recall being at a game with Grace and said he's going to ping that top bins, and he did. But having someone like Ward-Prowse is just like having, a better Aaron Cresswell, if you will. Allegedly.
Yeah. I want to get sued.
Yeah. Having a channel taken down.
I know. As I say, I wasn't keen on Ward-Prowse because of the age, but now I've seen him play. How wrong was I? What a player!
Would you agree, Steve, with what Mr. Doofus has just put in the chat there? In his opinion, the game passed JWP by when we played Chelsea.
No, I wouldn't actually. It was his first game. He got stuck in. He tried hard, and he had 2 assists. And the second assist for Antonio, he's played that ball on his weaker foot. No, I don't think he did. I thought he was good. I thought he did his bit well. I don't know what you guys think.
No, I agree.
I mean, I don't think it passed him by in the kind of sense that he was out of his depth. I think certain passages of play passed him by. I mean,
Yeah,
if my memory serves me, he was playing on the right side of our midfield, and a lot of their attacks came down our left side of our pitch, with Raheem Sterling being the main facet of and focus of Chelsea's attack. So he wasn't as involved in the game as, he wasn't always as involved in the game in the sense that, if the attacks had gone down our right and their left, you might have been seeing a different side of it. To be fair, Mr. Doofus, I think everyone seemed like they were chasing back at one point. It wasn't just him. I think when he came to it,
this is the perfect comment, though. I agree with.
Yeah, Hamid, I agree with that.
and you've also got to remember it was his first game.
I think he read the game well. I think
it's not the finished article for it yet. No, I loved him. I thought he was great.
I mean, listen, I can see where Mr. Doofus is coming from with the game passing him by, but I think that's just a lot of the time because the attacks come down the opposite side of the pitch to where he was holding. So,
no, so they're my two key men. I thought we'll quickly talk about this. Normally we do it at the end, but I've done it in this order. Is anyone who watched the preview what me and Steve done on Saturday morning, everyone in the chat just write the first and home. So just write C, for example, and then what you reckon the score is. This is just a quick, not explanation. We're just going to do it quick because there's three of us. How they reckon each game's going to go, basically, if you don't mind. So, Duke, you ready?
Go for it, mate.
Chelsea Luton.
Shit. 4-0. Chelsea.
4-0. Yeah. Steve?
5-0.
2-1 Luton.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
Smoking something. Have you been smoking something?
No, I haven't. I'm only joking. No, I agree with Marky Boy here. And Mandy, everyone's going 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0 on that one.
Fair enough.
So, what a game at half 12. I think this will be a really good game as well. Steve, Bournemouth Spurs.
2-1 Spurs.
Ooh. Dookie, baby.
2-2.
Ooh. 2-1 Bournemouth.
Okay.
I like your thinking.
Marky Boy's going for 2-2 as well.
Yes, Marky.
Mandy's going for 2-1 Spurs. Is anyone going to agree with me? Yay! I've never been so excited since the Conference League final. Right. Arsenal Fulham, Duke.
3-0 Arsenal.
Steve.
2-0 Arsenal.
1-0 Arsenal. I reckon they're going to scrape it. I don't think they look that great. They were lucky on Monday night. Palace.
Palace, yeah.
Oh, if this happens, I think we'll all be celebrating. Marky Boy's going 2-1. Sharky's going 2-0 Gunners. Mandy's going 3-1. Yeah, I agree. 2-1, sadly. And hey, 2-1 Fulham.
What are you smoking?
Do you know what? I'm gonna have to put 50p on everything what Geordie says, just in case it comes in. I think I might have to have a long holiday. And 2-1 again there. Oh, London Derby. Brentford Palace. Who wants to go first on this one?
Yeah, 1-0.
1-0. Okay. Nike.
2-1 Brentford.
I'm going to go 2-2. 2-2 for me.
Fair
We'll
enough.
just
I
give
like it.
We'll just give a couple of seconds for anyone else who wants to write it. What do you make of Brentford without Ivan Toney? I know he scored a lot of goals, but they just still played the same way, didn't they? Really?
Yeah. Again, it comes down to recruitment, Andy. Much like Brighton, it comes down to recruitment, and it's working for them. You know, they've got the players there that just slot into the holes that are left and created. So it just works for them.
Yeah. I'm just sorry. I'm not being lazy. I'm just doing it. Oh, for people as well, we'll just do a disclaimer because I think a couple of people have come in the chat. We are streaming on both channels, so if you're seeing comments what might not be appearing, I just don't want. That's why I'm putting them all up, just in case people are thinking what the hell's going on. Brentford 2-1, and Wolves Everton. Yeah, I will get onto that one now. And Ajax are 4-0 up. Bloody hell. Yeah, so Everton are at home, so obviously that won't make a difference probably for Everton. How'd you see that one going?
2-1 Wolves.
We're finally going to score.
3-0 Wolves.
Mm.
I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 Wolves.
I think Everton are in an absolute shamble mess. I'd like to say I feel sorry for them, but some of their fans, you know, they're not overly endearing to outsiders. Don't get me wrong, there are quite a few of them that are very much like us. You know, a working class group. You know, to a degree. Over the top sometimes, but there's also a lot of them that are just absolute delusional and blinkered. So I think they're in a really bad place.
Yeah, my brother-in-law's Everton fan. He's a really lovely guy, and he's saying, you know, the club's in a mess. He's quite
They're in
realistic.
a bad place.
It just makes you laugh. Is it 3 seasons in a row now where they've celebrated like they've won the league when they stay up?
Yeah. But then I'm not being funny, mate. If we were in their shoes and we stay up, I'd probably celebrate like we've won the league as well.
Yeah,
I think it's.
I hope they stay up, but I'm not sure they will this season.
I think they're going to struggle, Steve. I really do.
Yeah, I do.
Right, here we go. Manchester United, Nottingham Forest.
Ooh. 2-0 United.
Luke?
1-0 Forest.
Okay.
I'm going for 1-0. How do you say their striker who scored for them again the other day, Forest? Is it Awangi?
Well,
I can't remember their name.
I'm going to say yes because I quite think that's hilarious. So let's just keep it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He looks a machine. I remember even the back end of last season. I reckon he could cause United problems. So yeah. Double result for it. Here we go. It's 1-0. Look a mess. Wolves going 3-1. 2-1 Manx. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll talk about him briefly at the end, Mandy, as well. I've got a little slide for that one as well. We'll save our one to the end.
Yeah.
Burnley, Aston Villa.
1-0.
2-0 Villa. Villa look good.
I'm going to go 1-0.
Yeah.
I like the way company's got them playing. I think Cullen especially looks at it.
Oh yes.
Here we go. God, where what? Oh God, he's got me lost now. 2-0. 2-0. Burnley 1-0 and 1-1. That's a bit of a silly question for this one. Sheffield United versus Manchester City at Bramall Lane.
Oh, I think it will be tight. 4-0 City.
Right, I want to make a disclaimer. Last night I spent 3 hours talking to a Red Bull representative in my pub. He came to talk to me about things that they could do with us. I told him about my YouTube channel, and we had a little chat about football for 3 hours, and then spent about 10 minutes working out what Red Bull can do for me in the pub. And he was a Sheffield United fan. If he's watching, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I agree with Marky Boy, and I am going with a 6-0 away victory.
Yeah.
4-0 Mr. Doofus, 6-0 Marky Boy, 3-1 Sharky, 3-0 City. Steve, what about you, mate?
I said 4-0 City.
You said 4. Do you know what? I'm only going to go 2-0. I can see City, they're going to get a couple of goals and just know they haven't got to do anything more. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to cause a threat. Yeah, so that could be that. This is the most exciting game, what I'm looking forward to the most, obviously, apart from the West Ham game. Newcastle-Liverpool. What a game this is going to be. And I'm going to go first on this one. I'm going 4-3 Newcastle. I reckon this is going to be a goal fest.
I'd love it. I'd love it if that happened.
Yeah, 4-3 I'm going.
Okay. Tell you what, I'll go 3-1 Newcastle.
Oh, it's fucking nicked my score. I was going to say 3-1 Newcastle.
Of course you can say that.
Yeah, no, I really do think I think Newcastle are going to batter them. I really do. I've been really, really impressed with Newcastle, even against City last week. I'm really, really impressed. I think, again, Steigen's come in, right, and we're preparing for the future.
Yeah.
Mohamed Kudus, Hugo Ekitike, if that happens, if both of them happen. Mavropanos is 25.
Mubama,
we're there or thereabouts, and we're preparing for the future and B for a future beyond David Moyes as well, right? So Newcastle are doing the same thing, right? They've just got a young lad from Chelsea. They got Harrison Ashby from us. Okay, he's gone out on loan, but let's just look forward a season or two. Isaac, what they're doing is they've taken a look, a bit like City in a sense. They have these millions, right? But what City did is City go out and they identify, right? This is what City do. City identify a need. Now, right now, their need is probably going to be next season, maybe a striker, because I have a feeling that if they win the League Cup this year, that's everything for Erling Haaland. You could see that there's a possibility that he might leave because he's won everything in the UK. He doesn't need to win anything else. He's won the Champions League, FA Cup League. The League Cup will be next, right? Now, what you're going to see is much like Newcastle and City do, they do the same. They identify a need, but they don't just go, we need a striker. Hey, I'll get him. What they do is they go, okay, we need a striker. Okay, what do you need in that striker? Well, I need this. I need pace. I need someone that's strong. I need someone that can hold the ball. This is what I'm thinking about for West Ham right now, okay? Let's identify a striker for West Ham. Needs to be able to run the channels. Needs to be able to pull out wide. Needs to be strong to hold the ball up. Needs to be pacey to the point that he can pick the ball up, knock it past the player and go, okay? That's what Newcastle and City do. They're identifying what they need. They haven't just gone out and gone, right, there's spunk cash. Bosh, there's 70 million on a random. Like we spent 35 million on Gianluca Scamacca. Was never going to work because he's not the player that we need. He wasn't identified as a player that we needed. You know what I mean? So this is where I like what United are doing. Newcastle, they're building for the future. They're seeing what they need. And they're identifying that need and they move on. It's always nice to watch. my granddad was from Newcastle, so I kind of have a soft spot to, look out for what they're doing. So I'm impressed with Newcastle. I really do like where they're going with it, and fingers crossed for them. That top 4 sits. We'll see what happens.
Definitely. And
just on that one, Arsenal was it Wolf? Arsenal are not going to win the league, mate. They are so far away, even with number 41 joining them. In my opinion, they are still so far away from being a title-winning side. In fact, my prediction before the season kicked off was City win it, Man United come second, Newcastle come third, and Arsenal fourth, Chelsea, Spurs fifth and sixth. And then it'll be between us, Brentford, Villa, Brighton.
Where did Liverpool come? Where do you reckon Liverpool?
Got all about Liverpool. Liverpool will be 7th, so we'll be fighting for 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah.
Your top four will be your top 4, and then you can actually probably say Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool will fight out for 5th, 6th, and 7th in the same way that 8th, 9th, and 10th, in my opinion, will be fought by Brighton, West Ham, and Villa and Brentford.
It'll be funny if Tottenham don't get Europe again.
Mate, it'd be one of my favourite things ever.
Oh, no, I know.
And especially if we stop them from getting there.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm going to the game on Saturday. Trip to the AMEX. It's been absolutely fucking ruined by the rail strike, so we've got to drive. So it's not our usual piss up all day in the nice city of Brighton. But I've got a really good feeling. I have got a really good feeling about Saturday. I'm not going to call it a vlog because I'm not going to do the whole day, but I'll add it to our show on Monday. I'll do some like bite-sized bits of midday as well, just to keep you occupied. I'm not going to do like a half hour.
Do a couple of reels or shorts, Andy,
yeah, definitely. And I put them on both channels as well. But yeah, that's what I'll do. But I'm going to call it here now, gents. I'm going for a West Ham United 2-1 win. I think we're finally going to break the hoodoo. I really do.
Do you know what?
Go on,
Sorry,
Steve.
Andy, that's exactly the scoreline I think as well. As soon as you said 2-1, I thought, yeah, that's what we're going to do.
I think. So what we're going to do, we're going to drop that out now, Andy. I hope you don't mind. Bosh, there we go. Get out over the other side, you cheeky bastard. There we go. Me personally, what are you doing?
There you go. That's better. You're king of the castle.
I am going to go a epic 2-0 victory. I think we're keeping a clean sheet. I think we're keeping a clean sheet at the Amex. Mentioning the Amex, Andy, I've got a question. Steve, have you been to Brighton? Have you gone down to Brighton away?
No.
At the Amex? Well, this is a question for you then, Andy, seeing as I know you've gone. What do you lads think of Brighton Stadium? Andy, you can give us a first-hand experience.
Well, this is going to be the first-hand experience of going by car. So my whole day is normally getting the 8 o'clock train, no matter what time kickoff is, to Brighton, Wetherspoons, and stay there, and then you have to get a short train to the stadium. But the stadium itself, it's amazing. I don't think they could make it any bigger, unfortunately. Right, I think with their support. The away end. Do you remember when I took the Mark Noble cutout and I was on telly? That was the last time I went there as well, which is still down the bar on Mark Noble cutout. So yeah, I love it. I really do love that stadium. It's just a nice little. It's just if we get the result, it'll be even more sweeter. And like everyone said, let me just read some of the comments. Mr. Doof says, Hart says 2-1, Head says 2-0. Jones saying, agree, James will pass to the set piece king. How nice would that be? I know you're saying 2-0, but 1-1, and like the last 5 minutes, James will pass free kick straight in the top bins to set the picture. That would be really, really good. Hammerhead saying 2-0. Oh, yeah, nice, Marky. Yeah, man. Come and say hello if you see me. better than the old ground. Yeah, it was the old ground with the running track around it, wasn't it?
The old track was the Withdean Stadium, wasn't it? It was off of the main road, one of the main roads into Brighton by car. You turned up, I think you turned right off of one of the main roads. You had the big park, grassy area on your left-hand side, and then you turned right up to the Withdean. I never went to a game. I did go down to Brighton and drive up the road to see.
So I remember us playing a game there, and was it their striker called Virgo or something? He fucking destroyed us that game.
Vigo, right? Was it Adam Vigo?
Yeah. I call him John Virgo.
I mean, I've never been to the new stadium. It looks impressive. It is in the middle of fucking nowhere. I'd like to point out, like Andy said, you had to get a short train journey, didn't you? But it is, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's like they've bought a farmer's field and gone, fuck it, let's build a football stadium.
Right.
But it is impressive to see the stadium. I've been down to Brighton and driven. Joe drives, I don't. We drove. You kind of come by car. You kind of come off the top of a hill and down the hill, and it's there and at the bottom, and it's an impressive stadium to see. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a hoodoo one for us, isn't it? Let's not lie.
Marky boy, I'm not gonna lie. I'm normally pissed before I get there. I don't even know what it's called, but you come out of the Brighton station, you just keep walking straight, and it's there. That's all I remember. That's all I remember normally, because normally we take like a bottle of Deserano, a bottle of vodka, a few shorts, and we have to drink it before we get to Brighton. So normally I'm quite pissed before then. So yeah.
Good grief. I think I'd be comatose if I drunk that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd get off the train, to be fair. I think I'd be in a mess.
Yeah.
I was about to cover that. Go on. You're right.
Yeah, even a draw. And the last thing, sorry, I'm bringing this back, is because I know we've really talked about him, but just a quick summary from each of us. I reckon this deal's happening. I know a few people are worried with the Saudi, but apparently they can't. That the Saudis can't afford it, the financial package, so Ajax have told them to do one. I can't remember if I started, but someone said a comment that someone said the Ajax manager said it won't be done until the end of the window. Well, I wouldn't agree to that. If we're getting the player done, we're getting done. It wouldn't surprise me if they'll probably fly back to Amsterdam tonight, so they'll probably continue the talks tomorrow. It won't be obviously in the squad for the weekend. I reckon it'll be like Mavropanos. I reckon Monday it'll be signed.
Monday, Tuesday, I'll be happy with. The same with, is it Hugo Ekitike at PSG we're interested in as well. Apparently, we had positive talks today with both. The talks with Kudus's, team, the team with Ekitike as well. So the Goldstone ground, Cockney, was the first one they had. They had the Goldstone ground. They got rid of that. I think they had to sell it, or it was on a lease, and they lost. And then they had to move to the old Withdean Stadium, which was, I believe, an athletics. It was an athletics stadium. It's like your local park, kind of recreational sort of ground where it had a running track around it. But yeah, I think so. I think if we can get Kudus and we can get Ekitike on loan, that would be huge for us. The Ekitike deal makes more sense for me as a loan, because if you bring him in and it looks good, then yeah, we're in a great place to be able to sign him. If we decide to have an obligation or there's a set price at the end of it, and he does well. I think we've been burnt a couple of times for strikers, Haller and Skamaka, that they didn't fit what we do. If we bring a striker like Ekitike in on loan, it gives us the opportunity to play around a bit, figure out whether it's going to work. Have that, not an obligation, but the option to buy at the end with a set price. We offer that price, it's job done. Then I think that for us would be better. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at. I'll be happy with that. I think Kudus and Ekatike show the new direction we're going in. You know, Maguire was Moyes' first choice for centre back, didn't work. So then we moved over to, Mavropanos, over to Dino's, and it worked. Yeah, there you go. It worked. So, if we can do this, fingers crossed, we're going to look a very, very good side, I feel, and a better side without the 41 than I thought any of us would have even envisioned.
I agree. Right, that's me. That's my presentation done. Sorry, Steve. I'm done now.
Okay, no, fine.
We've been going an hour and 10, so, as Andy said, and I said at the start, we've been live across both channels. Sorry, I'm going to open it. There we go. We've been live across both channels, the original Forged from Iron channel and the new one, Extra Time. So we've got a few more views, a few more comments. As Andy said earlier, if you're watching on one or the other channel and we're reading out comments that you don't necessarily see, that's why we're across both. It's something new, okay, that we're going to be providing content for both. I'm certainly going to be going over to the other channel and recording some content for that channel. Andy, you've got the breakfast show wrapped up over on this channel, or the Extra Time channel. So I might try and put something together that kind of mirrors what you're doing over on the main channel. So keep an eye out, guys. There will be content going up on both. There will be content hopefully going forward, going up across both at the same time. Ooh. Chances are we're going to balls it up a couple of times because it's something new. We're learning. It's going to be good. As Johnny said, he's just subbed to both channels. Thank you so much. If you haven't done so from one to the other, please do. Please jump over from, Forged from Iron, West Ham United, and subscribe to Forged from Iron Extra Time, and vice versa. If you haven't subscribed to Forged from Iron, but you're on the Extra Time channel, please jump over and subscribe to both. I am hoping, I was going to mention it, but I am hoping that a certain Mr. Gates will rise his head from whatever sandy hole he's currently on holiday in and comes back, and we do some stuff for the main channel as well. We'll have to wait and see. Andy, any final words from you, you beautiful man, in your TalkSport studio that you're in? Me, I'm just in a generic one, look.
No, I just want to thank everyone. Literally, I know it sounds like I was very shocked with the amount of views I got on yesterday's show with Kodus, but when you look at it, only 10% people are subscribed. So if you think of anyone, like what Duke says, if you think of any West Ham fans you work, family, think we talk well, then tell them to like and subscribe on both channels. It really does help us out. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning, but I think I might have a twist for the breakfast show tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed to Forged from Iron Extra Time. Oh,
you slimy sod, because we don't even know. We don't even know, do we, Steve? This is something he does. We're not involved in the Extra Time breakfast show. We see it at the same time as you guys do. He posts some rubbish up, and then me and Steve go, "Oh, what's he done there?" No, I'm joking. He posts some good content, and he does when he does the breakfast show.
Sorry, this should be our description on both of the channels instead.
I tell you what I might do is I might find the link on Facebook and just link it into the descriptions below the channel when we do the videos.
He'll be back, Sharky. He will be back.
I'm hoping. Like I say, he's on holiday. I did reach out to him last week, and he said he was on holiday. So hopefully, when he comes back, we get some stuff going again. If not, you've still got us three wonderful people. I'd say us three beautiful faces. You can only see mine and Andy's, and then you've got just a big circle.
But he's got an avatar coming.
He has.
Have I-
We're going to
yes,
work something
I
out.
have, haven't I? Yeah.
A little caricature by a nice person. Steve, any last words from you?
No, just thanks to everybody for listening to us ramble on for an hour and 15. Really appreciate it, and thoroughly enjoyed it tonight, lads.
It's been a good one. I've enjoyed going across both and the interaction from both sides of the channels. I do want to give one. Oh, go on.
Sorry, I just remembered the preview. What we've done with the slides and everything. Comment if you're watching it live. Obviously, you can quickly do it now. If not, comment below. If you think it's too much, let us know and we'll try and break it down. It was just an idea of a trial, so we'd want to take your opinions on board.
I liked it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
I want to give one shout out. Andy, I know in your breakfast show you gave out a shout out to X this morning or yesterday morning on your breakfast show, whichever one the kudos. So yesterday, wasn't it?
Kudos one, yeah.
I watched it this morning, I'll be honest. You gave a shout out to X. I want to give a shout out to another West Ham YouTube channel, Twitter page. Friend of the channel has cropped up a few times. I don't know them personally. I've never met them, so please don't ask me who it is. But Mr. Clips has decided to, if those of you who follow his Twitter page and everything else, has decided that he's stepping back from making the alternative commentaries that he used to do, which we all got so much joy out of. He said he might rock up and surprise us one day with a surprising video. What I will say is I want to say thank you to Clips. It gave me so much enjoyment. Look forward to the days after a game that you'd see his stuff come up. The thank you Jesus.
When we at the crossbar.
Yeah, the triggered. The cats. I can't remember the amount of cats we had, but it was all so much fun. And I just want to say thank you to him for bringing a lot of enjoyment, especially last season when it weren't great. Even when we lost games, you'd get the clip stuff come out and it was great. You enjoyed it. It put a smile on your face. The run from Raquel May and all the rest of it. It was really enjoyable. So I just want to shout out to Clips and say thank you. Hopefully, he might bring them back at some point, or the odd one or two. If we get to a European final again, maybe Clips will pop up. But just a shout out to him and say thank you. Thank you to everyone who's been with us tonight across both channels. Yeah. Everyone that's commented, some great stuff. Andy, Steve, thank you both so much for being here this evening. Andy, special shout out to you for your presentation that you put together. Yeah. It's much appreciated. And I think that's us done, gents. Thank you and good night.
Good night. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
Thank you, Jesus.
There he is.